Hello, Army fans. This is Colonel Sam. I'm coming to you live from the beautiful mountains of North Carolina, and I'm going old school winging it tonight. I'm in my mom's study, so I don't want to hear any complaints about the mom clutter in the background. But hey, what an exciting time, folks. We are on the edge of the 2026 season. And a lot of great things have happened just in the past week. First and foremost, my birthday was yesterday, so salute and cheers to everyone. And thank you to all of you who reached out and wished me a happy birthday. My birthday also happens to come just 3 weeks ahead of Army's home opener against Bryant. So, and I will be there. Very excited to say that I did receive my MREs in the mail from Army Athletics. So I will be watching for all of you at the New East stands at Mikey Stadium. But hey, let's talk about some of the things that have happened just in the past week. The class of 2030 completed their Beast Barracks, and their new motto, Strong and Steady 30, was unveiled during their march back from Lake Frederick, marking the end of Beast Barracks. They've now successfully completed Reorgy Week. What a stressful time that was back in the day. And just yesterday, in an absolutely gorgeous ceremony on a beautiful West Point day out at the Plain, they went from being new cadets to just cadets during the acceptance parade into the Corps of Cadets. And I appreciate the videos posted by so many of you that gave us an opportunity to see that ceremony. Ken Kreitzer has a number of great videos up on his CamVets Media YouTube page, so go check it out. Also on his Facebook page. This weekend, hey, it's aside from graduation week, possibly the greatest weekend of the entire cadet experience is coming up for the class of 27, and that is Ring Weekend. So congratulations to the class of 2027. Hey, you members of the class of 2030, you better be rehearsing your lines, because when you see that crass mass of brass and glass, you better ask if you can please touch it, sir or ma'am. And my message to the class of 2027 is that no matter how impassioned a plea a member of the class of 2030 may put forward to you in order to see their crass mass of brass and glass, the answer is no, absolutely not. You'll touch your rings when you get your rings there, folks. Fall semester academics are right on the edge of beginning, and I know all the cadets are excited about getting back to school. For the class of 2028, your very first day of fall semester will mean that you're locked in to the profession of arms. So welcome to the profession of arms, to the class of 2028. Just in this past week, we had some outstanding news. Coach Monken got an extension through 2030. And Coach Monken is literally the Red Blake of the modern era. And we can only count our blessings every day to have him as the head coach of the Army football program. He is the longest tenured coach since Red Blake. He's the number 2 in all-time Army wins. And there is a possibility that by the year 2030, he may have eclipsed the great legend himself, Red Blake. So congratulations to Coach Monken, and we are all thrilled to know that you will be storming the sidelines at Mikey and at other venues for the coming years, leading the Army team on to victory. And we know that this continuity of the lesson that you've been teaching our student athletes has resonated as they've become outstanding officers in our Army, and they've gone on to even greater successes in both the Army and in their civilian careers. So again, it's a happy time. Concurrent with this, the football team has completed their they've completed fall camp, and they've completed their second week of practice. They're moving into their third week as the academic year is about to start. A lot of things shaping up on the fields of friendly strife. We know that Cale Helms will be the starter at quarterback. It happens to be leading an absolutely loaded offense that brings back a number of starters, including a lot of playmakers from last season. So we're looking forward to seeing what's going to be happening with that, and I'll talk just a little bit about it. But before I get ahead of that, let's just say hello, football. 2026 season is 3 weeks away. Like I said, the home opener against Bryant University on 5 September at Mikey Stadium, the debut of the new East Stands. I just showed you my MRE, got my parking passes in the mail just the other day. The new East Stands await. And just as a side note, Bryant is a place that I know very well, very familiar with, an outstanding college in Rhode Island. When I taught Army ROTC at Providence College, Bryant was one of our facilities that we did an extension. We had an extension office there, and I was the primary OIC for the Bryant ROTC. And so spent a lot of time out there, became very good friends with a lot of the faculty out there. Most notably, the president of Bryant University at the time was a gentleman named Dr. Ron Makeley. And Ron Makeley did he put forward a lot of effort in expanding Bryant University. It was Bryant College before it became Bryant University. He expanded the student membership, the curriculum, he expanded the athletic programs, and he is the reason that Bryant is now playing at the FCS level. At least he laid the foundation for that. Might add that he was also a Naval Academy graduate, so this was during the streak, so Ron Makeley never held back on giving me a rouse of shit every time we had to play the Squids, man. So glad the playing field is a lot more level now. But Dr. Ron Makeley, we're really excited to have the legacy of your efforts coming to visit West Point on September 5th. Anyway, let's talk football 2026. I said I'm old school, folks. Tonight, I don't have my normal setup, so if you could just see, I've got this legal pad here with some notes that I made. Let me just start by saying this. This is not another preview. Hey, look, at this point, our good buddies from As for Football, Go Black Knights, Black Knight Nation, Joey Acano, Seth Mendelson, all those guys, Charlie Grievous, they've all put forward outstanding videos previewing both the offense, the defense, the first quarter of the season. And we appreciate the efforts that you're doing. I'm not going to try to duplicate that. I've got another message for y'all tonight. And it's something that really resonates deep within me. And I know that it's something that's in the back of the minds and deep in the black and gray and gold blood that's pumping through your heart about the Army football team of late. And that is this. The 2026 Army football team. This team is at a crossroads, folks. We are looking at a team that, in my opinion, has lost its identity. They need to get their mojo back. They need to find their killer instinct. Let's go back and be reminiscent of what the team was like under Monken from 2016 to 2018. How many times did they run 50 or more up on teams without mercy and empty their bench to let everyone get playing time? And it gave both sides of the ball the opportunity to get a lot of playing time, plus it put games out of reach, and it meant that the team had come out there to make a statement, which needs to happen every game. This has not been happening of late. And where does this team search to find its answer to this dilemma that I believe is occurring? Well, we can start by just learning from the biggest lesson of the 2025 season. It was blatantly obvious to anyone who was sitting in the stands or sitting with their alumni gathering to watch the games at some location in some city around the world, that the lesson at this point should be resonating within the team. And in my opinion, it should be on the back of every player's locker. It should be hanging on the wall of every coach. And you want to know what that message is? You're going to have a V8 when you see it, because I know you thought it, maybe not in these exact words. But if you just take a look at this old school message, this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. If you play not to lose, you are playing to lose. Read that. Think about the 2025 season. How many times during the 2025 season did a game seem to be in hand, yet suddenly we saw the offensive side of the ball go into neutral, almost as though they were just trying to run out the clock, but instead they were going 3 and out. And as a result, we saw some games where games that should have been won were not won. And you can't have a bend but don't break defense on the field multiple times in the second half because the offense is failing to get first downs. So, but where did all this start? Well, I've hammered on this a lot. The genesis of this has started in the last 7 Army-Navy games. The last 7 Army-Navy games have been a bewildering journey of extremely conservative offensive play centered upon the quarterback, running quarterback midline keepers. That is terribly predictable, which makes it extremely easy to defend, and has seen Army's offense fail to score more than 1 touchdown in 7 straight Army-Navy games. This led over into the 2025 season. And this inexplicably conservative approach to offense directly contributed to 4 losses during the season, in my opinion. Notable examples of losses, and I was at all of these games. At Tulane, Army is at Tulane. They are up by 7 with just under 2 minutes to go in the game. They end up losing by 7. Why? Tulane converted a touchdown on 4th and 8 right after they came back from the 2-minute break. And then Army's offense ran 3 straight quarterback keepers for a 3 and out that took all of about 20 seconds off the clock. And Tulane got the ball back with 1:30 to go and drove right down the field and scored and won the game. It was really a game that was Army's game from start to finish until the very end. Tulsa, probably more frustrating than the Tulane game, in that Army seemed to be rolling to a big victory against Tulsa at Michie Stadium. Then late in the third quarter, for some inexplicable reason, Army's offense, which had been clicking on almost every cylinder, not on every cylinder, but almost, suddenly went into reverse and started running in neutral. And Tulsa's defense very quickly picked up on this extremely conservative shift in game plan, stopped Army a few very important times, and got their offense rolling because Army's defense was not coming off the field. And Tulsa dominated the time of possession in the fourth quarter. Inexplicable, and in the end, it was a loss. Then there was I hate to bring it up, the Navy game. Well, hey, look, I'm not going to pontificate about this one. We saw it. We're still feeling the pain of it. Another Commander-in-Chief trophy for the second straight year that was left in the hands of the Squids. Army's offense, which had a lead of 6 points going into the second half, only had 1 first down in the second half, and they turned the ball over, and they had a 6-point lead in the fourth quarter, but could not move the ball at all, continually giving the ball back to the Squid offense, which eventually got on the board and took a 1-point lead, which they held and took the Commander-in-Chief trophy. So the question is, why is Army's offense, which was so triple option dynamic at one point in time, early in the Monken era, why has it evolved into such a predictably plodding quarterback midline keeper focused approach? This is what's got to change in 2026. So let me just talk a little bit of history here. The coaching tree that led to Coach Monken began in the very county that I am sitting in right now, Avery County, North Carolina, at a place called Avery County High School. You may be sitting there saying, sure, Sam, sure, Colonel, I'm sure that's correct. It is correct. And let me tell you why. Because the very taproot of the coaching tree that led to Coach Monken was a triple option. It was wishbone, but triple option offense that was led by a legendary triple option coach named Coach Elmer Aldridge. Paul Johnson was an Avery County High School graduate, and he went to Western North Carolina. And when he graduated from Western Carolina, his very first coaching job was coaching on the offense under the tutelage of one Coach Elmer Aldridge. I was a running back on that team. We were very prolific in scoring points. We ran triple option very well. Paul's career launched from there, and his career was inspired by lessons learned under Coach Aldridge. One of those lessons taught by Coach Aldridge, and hold with me, folks, because here's why I'm telling this history lesson and why it's going to make sense. One of those lessons taught by Coach Aldridge was this: there are no feature backs in triple option offense. Let me read that again. There are no feature backs in triple option offense. By design, if you are running the quarterback more than 25% of the time, if the quarterback is running the ball 20 to 25% of the time more than that, then you're breaking the mold of the entire design of the triple option. By design, the offense is to put the ball in the hands of the playmakers based upon reads that the quarterback is making on the defense on any given play. And this is why when you play a true triple option offense on defense, you have got to be completely disciplined. You cannot be caught out of position. You cannot commit too soon. Otherwise, you create a seam, and if properly read, it will result in the fullback running up the field, smashing over defensive backs. Or it will result in the quarterback running up the field. Or it will result in a pitch out with no coverage to the perimeter and the slot back running down the field. Or it will result in a play action where everyone has gone in to defend the run, and you have streaking wide receivers or a tight end downfield wide open for the play. It's a wonderful offense, but it has to be run balanced. Here's my point. 2026. Y'all saw what the Army offense can do in the Yukon game. You saw the playmakers that are coming back. You have God's Power. You have Jake Rendina. You have Carson Smith. You have Samari Howard. You have Brady Anderson. You have Tex Brannon and Parker Pelosi, tight end. You have an offensive line that brings back 4 starters. These guys are absolutely loaded. They have to be chomping at the bit to get that ball distributed and used properly and getting it into the hands of the playmakers on an even distribution that keeps the defense honest. You go back and look at Navy football games, man. Navy's defense is to crash the A and B gap and key the quarterback on every play because they know they don't have to do anything else. Why make it that easy? So Bryant is going to be a very important game that I'm going to be watching very closely. I'm going to be watching to see how much ball distribution is happening on offense and how effective Army is running not only inside but to the perimeter. And the real key to the success of this season, 2026, lies initially with the offense. And why is that? It's because the defense is so inexperienced, and they have their Daryl Dixon as their new defensive coordinator. They've got to have some breathing space in the first 2 or 3 games in order to find their identity, to find themselves, to figure out who their starting rotation is definitely going to be, to grow comfortable in Daryl Dixon's system. They need the offense to deliver. And when I say offense delivers, what I mean is that the offense is delivering time of possession, so long sustained drives, no turnovers, and they're scoring touchdowns on those drives. And they're getting 2 and 3 touchdown leads early on the opposition. It gives the defense some breathing space. Also, it creates a situation where on the other side of the field, your opponent is realizing the average drive time that Army's having the ball and scoring, and in the head of the opposing coaches and quarterback, there's a clock that starts ticking where they start counting the amount of time remaining in the game, and they realize at the way things are going, we only have the ball so many more times, so many more opportunities. And what that causes them to do is to make mistakes because they start getting desperate. And that's a good time for the defense when the offense on the other side is desperate because they have to be desperate. So, hey, these first 3 games, especially the Bryant game, this Bryant game, it on paper, it should be an absolute blowout. And I personally, I hope that it is. I hope that it's 50, 60 to nothing. And I hope that Army is able to clear the bench and give all of their players a lot of playing time because they have to. They need to have these opportunities to get on the field. But it gives the defense the opportunity to do the same thing on the other side, and that is to rotate everyone through, to find out who's ready to play, who's not ready to play, to find out who's comfortable in the system, who's not, to have that breathing space, to not be panicky at any time because the offense has got this game under control. And the offense has got to control the entire momentum of this season. And if ever there was a season where the offense is as loaded as it is, it might be, if you look back to maybe the 2018 season, maybe the 2017 season, might be the last time that Army brought back an offense that was as loaded on playmakers and on the offensive line as what we've got coming in this year. Someone's going to step up to the plate and fill Noah Short's shoes. I really believe that. But it's going to be because of effective play. Now, at the end of the season, what would I love to see? What would I just absolutely love to see as far as stats and everything? I'd love to see Army lead the country in rushing and not have a single 1,000-yard running back or quarterback. I would rather see Army lead the nation in rushing and have 5 or 6 players all who have 500 or more yards rushing. Wouldn't that be just wonderful? Because that means defenses around the country have no answer for what Army's doing with the ball. That's what we need to see. All right, so I've said my piece. I gave you my history lesson. Let me just identify a couple players I believe are going to be breakout players this season. I'm going to be keeping my eyes on. Everyone talks about God's power, and yeah, I think he's really going to have a great season. I'm keeping my eye on Jake Rendina. I really believe that that powerlifting champion fullback, America's fullback, is going to make some serious noise this season. Looking forward to seeing him bowling over some defensive backs as he's running down the field. I think Samari Howard is going to have a breakout year. You know, he's been playing in the shadows of Noah Short for the past couple of seasons, but he's very seasoned, he's disciplined, he runs the ball well, he's fast, he catches the ball really well. I think he's in for some big things happening in his first year. On the defensive side of the ball, hey, I think that Jack Bossum and Cody Harris-Miller are going to be the real keys to the foundation of the defense from day one, because they're going to be controlling that line of scrimmage, and they're going to give these new linebackers the opportunity to roam in space without blockers in their faces and get them comfortable with Daryl Dixon's system. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how both of those guys control the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to have great years. So that's about it for me, folks. Like I said, this was not meant to be a preview in the form of what the other forums have done. And again, they've done a fantastic job. I would just be giving you stuff you've already heard. I rather just wanted to give you my perspective and my philosophy and what I really believe needs to be the focus of the 2026 team, and that is, this is a lesson right here, folks. If you want to take anything away from the 2025 season, if Army wants to get their identity back, if they want to start playing with mojo again and dominating their opponents, they need to start by remembering this. You get a lead in the game, if you start playing not to lose, you're playing to lose. I'm not saying you will lose, but you're playing to lose. You get a lead in the game, then you go for the jugular. You press the accelerator pedal. You run the score up. You give these people you give your opponents no other option of throwing in the white towel and realizing it's over, and that includes against the other service academies. So just remember that, and hey folks, again, exciting time. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at Mikey Stadium in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. See those new East stands, meet up with everyone at the tailgates, and then watch Army absolutely steamroll Bryant in football. So go Army, beat Bryant, beat everybody. Most importantly, beat Navy. This is the Colonel out.